go on, it will unfreeze itself. Thank you all for having me. I am honored. I am privileged. Congratulations on yet another outing. Congrats on your anniversary so far. That was last month. And the topic, servant leadership with integrity. Shofu, I would really be glad if you just keep giving me a sign from time to time to let me know that you're with me and you're hearing me and I'm not speaking to myself. Servant leadership with integrity. Servant leadership with integrity. This is a topic I love because the first time I heard somebody talk about servant leadership, that'll be a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It was Tara Fela Durotoye. And I kept wondering what exactly that meant. How is that different from regular leadership? Because I felt leaders are to serve. But no, not every leader is to serve. Some leaders do just that. They lead, they give direction, which may not necessarily be service. So, for those of us who are in this space where we serve, the first definition I have here is servant. A servant is a person who performs duties for other people. I'm looking at my phone, my dictionary. A person who performs duties for others. So, if I will be a servant leader, or if you will be a servant leader, if we will be servant leaders, guess what we're going to do every single day? We're going to get used to doing things for other people, performing duties for other people. The one who says, I will be a servant leader when I become a leader, that's the one who is more likely not to be a servant leader because you are not yet used to being a servant leader. So, as a leader, I bring influence, as a leader, I bring direction, but as a servant leader, I also perform duties for the people I lead. I wish I could get some feedback from the audience to say, I hear you, I am with you, it's making sense. That would be very great. Or put it in this chat here so that I can see some message. Okay? So what's the second definition that I want us to look at? Of course, because in the servant leadership with integrity. Servant leadership with integrity. So what does integrity mean? Integrity, I'm using my thesaurus actually. It gives a very short definition and then it gives words that can be used in place of integrity. First, it says integrity is completeness, complete, coherence, when what you're thinking, what you're saying, and what you're doing are the same. Congruence. If I say I will do XYZ, guess what? I do Z. So I'm asking myself, Joyce, are you already that person who does what she says and who says what she does? I'm asking you, my YALI brothers and sisters, are we already people who say and do? The person of integrity, the servant leader of integrity, is that person who will and say. So it's one thing for us to sit there and talk about the things we hope to do. It's another thing to deliver. That's where the integrity tick. You know that blue tick you have on Twitter or Instagram when you've got to some status, they give you a blue tick. The blue tick for integrity happens when you do what you say. Completeness. So I'm asking the assignment for all of us here today, including me, is what are those things across states and federal? I want to be a federal lawmaker someday. And I know that at that time, I should be receiving only the stipends and allowances as given by the government, right? If I actually advocate for that amount of money to be brought down, that allowance to be brought down to such a small sum where I may not be able to afford some of the luxuries I can afford for myself now. For example, and this is just one of many examples, flying business class. Guess what I've started doing now? I have started stopping flying business class. I have stopped flying business class because I need to become used to the lifestyle that I am advocating for. Else, I might go out of congruence. What I'm saying, what I'm thinking, and what I'm doing may not be in tow. And that is where a challenge comes. And then when I had the drive for reduced cost of governance, might say, well, we can't really reduce it too much because our costs are really high. You know, we travel quite a bit, and so we can't be traveling economy class now. So you see, at that time, the problem to deliver on what had been promised will be in question. And I believe that this is one of the reasons why many leaders, and I'm not talking about political leaders alone, many leaders, leaders at home, sometimes we promise our children, we'll buy you XYZ if you do XYZ. And then the children meet up on their promises by doing XYZ. And guess what? Many times we, the parents, were not able to because hadn't even planned for it. We hadn't thought through the process. So, to be a servant leader with integrity, we will need to start thinking through the process on how to deliver on the mandates and the promises that we make as leaders, regardless of what that mandate is. How am I going to deliver on it? What and what does it entail? So, this is where I say we use our 5 W's and 1 H. In my opinion, I always say this is the answer to the ultimate formula to life and living. 5 W's and 1 H. As a servant leader, who do I need to work with? Who am I? So the 5 W's are in no particular order. Many of you already know what they are. Who, what, where, when, why. Who, what, where, when, why. Or where, what, who, why, when, where. In no particular order. There are 5 W's. The 1 H is how. Who am I? Who do I need to work with? Who do I need to be? Who do I need to become to deliver on my servant leadership promises, my servant leadership desires, my servant leadership hopes and dreams? You know, many of us say, oh, if I was the president of the country, if I was the senator, if I was the governor, I would do X, Y, Z. Who do I need to be that person that delivers? So, right now, am I already delivering? Or do I speak out of wishes only? Am I that person who never meets targets because I don't find out what it takes to meet my targets? What do I need to focus on? What do I need to learn? What do I need to know to be the servant leadership with integrity? What courses do I need to attend? What trainings do I need to be at? What books do I need to read? What? If you can hear me, you understand me, and maybe you're writing, then please somebody should write in the chat. We are with you, or just write WY, which is with you. The next one will be why? Why do I want to be a servant leader? Why I can be a leader without being a servant leader? Why do I want to be one who performs duties for others? Why do I want to take on the role of being selfless? Why? Why does the world need more selfless people, selfless leaders? Why does the world need more selfless leaders? Why does Nigeria, why does Edo State, why does each and every one of our local communities need more servant leaders? Why am I here? Thank you. I see your way with you. Why? Why? When you get your why right, you begin to adjust. So you've asked who, you've asked what, you've asked why. When do I become this servant leader? When do I become this servant leader? When? Today? Or do I wait for the next 5 years? Some people will say, okay, maybe when I turn 30 or when I turn 35. You know that thing we say about habits forming over a particular time? I believe, well, I personally believe it takes months for a habit to form and solidify, maybe even up to a full year for it to be, cooked, as it were. Nothing when I say done. So when? If I want to be a certain type of way in the next 2 years, I think the best time to start practicing that thing is today, so that I have time to become it, so that I am not faking. Then of course the last question is where? Where do I need to be a servant leader? I need to be a servant leader everywhere. I don't want to be a servant leader only when I'm in public and then fake it and then go back to my real self when I'm indoors. Guess what? That's where integrity is thrown out the window. Many years ago, very many years ago, maybe about 20 something, my son will be, 19 this year, so it was definitely over 19 years ago. I used to ask the question about why a lot of, well, permit me to talk about this. It was my personal study. I was asking God, I was saying, Lord, why is it I see a lot of church leaders who have children? So many at that time around me in my locality in Port Harcourt where I grew up. There were so many church leaders with. I can't say, I heard a voice. It just occurred to me that it was because of lack of congruence, called hypocrisy. Parents say one thing but do the thing. Hi, Ehi. Faith. Their parents say one thing, so the children get caught up in a lie. They see their parents preach and teach differently at home. Guess what? I now started observing ones I was close to. Well, there were very few, just about two of them. And I realized, oh, parents were different from who they were outside. They preached, they taught, they shaka boozed one thing outside, different at home. So their children became confused, and many of them became badly behaved out of, not because of what they had to give, they were rebelling against that incongruence. When do I need to become a servant leader? Attributes of servant leadership with integrity? Today or out, I will be the same. It doesn't matter who we see you, who we see, or who you are when no one is watching leader. And of course, age is how. How do I become a servant leader? I learn. I learned the rudiments. I attend leadership trainings, which I'm happy about, YALI, because I know you have such personal development programs. And you've put this one together to yet again to develop. You learn your communication skills, you learn your guidance skills, you learn your inclusion skills, you learn your personal, there's a word I'm looking for, human relations skills. For example, I know about 30 human relations principles, and I will just give you maybe four randomly without thinking about them too deeply. For example, one of them says, don't criticize, don't condemn, don't complain, don't criticize people. Fourth one will I throw in? I'll throw one in. It says, become genuinely interested in people. Genuinely. It's one thing when you're interested for what you can get from them, it's another when you're interested in them genuinely. All these principles take time to become, so we need to start now, so that we actually in positions of leadership will live with it, meaning who I am indoors and who I am outdoors in front of people will be one and the same. I thank you for giving me your time. I thank you for inviting me. And I hope and desire that all the news we will hear of each other, me from you and you from me, will all be good about how we are changing the world, changing our spaces by being servant leaders with integrity. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. Please let's yes, thank you very much. So talk more on it. So anyone with question on summer leadership, like how can you be a leader and you're expected to serve as a leader in integrity in
Is that a question?
if you
In
have
a country
questions,
like
I believe
this?
yes, ma.
Oh, I'm happy to
I
answer
know with
that.
the
You said something just now, I
I
didn't
know
hear.
with the pressure like our youths are you know in different sectors, even in school, as little as even in the school setting, like the normal undergraduate level, you give someone position, even class rep, just be the class rep, and you give them money to lead us from work and all of that. They want to meet up, especially peer pressures and everything. So when they become leaders, one putting yourself in the line and they are just matching you. I don't know how to put the English. So the pressure will be more on you as the leader. So that's why a lot of our youth are getting discouraged and everyone wants to fight for themselves. So how can you lead as a servant leader and you are still doing it in integrity without cutting corners or compromising?
Thank you. Thank you. I think this is one of the most important questions that we can ask ourselves. And if we are honest to the answers of this question,
Exactly.
then we'll be okay. I don't like textbook responses. I like to respond for myself from where I am. Three things drive me in my life. Three things drive me. Three things get me up on my feet every day. Number one is I want to get to heaven and hear God say to me, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Because no matter how much I garner and gather on this earth, as a Christian who believes in heaven and rewards, I want my full rewards. So that higher purpose takes me working away from just what is happening around me to what God can give me and do for me. Now, I will tell you that the person who decides to live, and this is not about religion, please. This is not about religion, and I'm not preaching church here. This is about wanting more than yourself. Guess what? Eventually, it takes time. And it's not every time that it takes so long, but it does take time. Eventually, all those resources that you think you need, they find you. Depending on the kind of value you constantly give. You see this thing called money, material gifts, they find you, they come after you, but it just takes some patience to hold on. When you run for it too quickly, it will come, you get it, but then you lose yourself. This is gold. This is 18 karat gold. It was given to me about 4 years ago as a gift by a woman who was my client. I had never even given her an exorbitant bill. Every time I give her my bill, well, we'll renegotiate until this woman will cut off money from me or well, money from my bill, but I would give her 100% excellent service. So after the event, one event, I had done several events for her. And we had even traveled to about 11 cities around Nigeria. We had gone to Kanu, no, we had gone to Jos, Kaduna, we had gone to Abuja. We went to 11 cities together, amongst many other events. This woman called me into her bedroom and said, "Joyce, I'm looking for something precious to give you just to show you my heart." And she gave me this set, it has a gold piece. And she said, "I know you don't really wear gold and all of that because you're not interested. But this is like an investment. And if you ever need money and you want to sell it, bring it back because she sells gold. I will sell it for you, give you the full cash." This dress I'm wearing is about 70,000 naira. It was given to me as a gift. The dress I wore yesterday was given to me as a gift. The dress I wore the day before, the dress I wore on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all gifts. I received another one this morning. Who are people sending me gifts? People on Instagram who say, "Oh, I like what you say. Oh, I'm impressed by what you say." Look, you see this thing called money and material wealth? Just give value, it will come to you. It may not come today, but it will come tomorrow. The way I know my name is Joyce, the way I know today is Sunday, the 20th of June, the way I know that we are in Nigeria right now is the same way I know that if you continue to give value, with time, value follows you. Anybody who can understand this truth and own it, I owned this truth a long time ago. Anybody that can own this truth will not touch what is not theirs anymore. Because guess what? It will come to you. You serve your people, they give. They give. You can't go home and leave empty handed. They might come and ask you for money, but guess what? By the time you're leaving, they're filling your car with yams and stuff. You see that thing called a good name. That thing called a good name. So it goes back to our values. I can spend a whole hour talking about this and showing us step by step. But the one thing I want you to take away is value will attract value. Value will attract wealth. Continue to give value. If you look at somebody else to determine how well you behave, you might miss your road. Determine for yourself what you want, where you want to go, and stay on it. I used to use the hashtag for a long time, stay in your lane. Stay in that your lane to the point where you get where you're going and you get there with all the value that the world can bring you. I guarantee you it will come. Oh, it will come. I'm saying, look, it will come. Just hold on. It will come. It will come. That's my response. It will come. Well, if you can hear me, I think this is where I'll take my leave. If you can't hear me, let me take my leave. I'm going back into class right now. I wish you all the best. Thank you once again for having me. Bye for now.